know that the hockey community is close-knit. In fact, most people consider it a family, right? Everyone supports each other when we need it most. And along those lines, Marney Gellner has a story of a teenager in Sartell whose memory inspired a mission to try to end the stigma of mental illness.
Hello, my name is Sophie Wieland, and I'm going to be playing the Vivaldi Concerto in G minor third movement.
Sophie Wieland started playing the violin when she was 4 years old, a real natural who happily practiced 5 days a week. Sophie had an ear for music and a heart for hockey.
Hockey was her main love, and she started hockey because of her older brother and sister. She wanted to start, so that we started her pre-kindergarten, which is maybe a little early, but she wanted to do it. So yeah, so hockey was her first love.
Sophie also played soccer and ran cross country. She got good grades at her middle school in Sartell, had plenty of friends, and was on the student council. But privately, Sophie was struggling. In July of 2021, at age 14, Sophie took her own life.
We had literally no idea, absolutely no idea. I don't think anybody did, and I think that's probably what makes it the hardest, is the fact that we had no clue.
Sophie left behind a letter explaining that she had been suffering for 3 years with self-esteem issues and thoughts of feeling like she wasn't good enough. But she didn't share her struggles with anyone. Sophie's hockey family was completely blindsided and utterly devastated. They were also determined to not let this happen to anyone else. Through their grief, they formed Sophie's Squad.
And we all pretty much answered that bell and said absolutely. And if I'm being honest, when he first came up with the idea, I thought he meant we're going to do like a fundraiser, like we're going to do a thing and maybe donate some money to the family. I didn't realize the vision of what this kind of transpired to become.
What it's become is a nonprofit organization focused on raising awareness about mental health and removing the stigma surrounding it. Sophie's Squad holds events at local hockey games, setting up tables full of literature and mental health resources, with volunteers wearing Sophie's favorite color, teal. There's an honorary puck drop and activities during intermissions. Sometimes they're just opening the door to a tough conversation.
There's a gal that put a big post on Facebook thanking me for talking to her daughter and sending me this message. She's like, she really needed that greeting tonight, and she's been struggling. And you never know, just a simple hello sometimes somebody's having a tough day. So it gave me goosebumps, and it reminds me that's why we do it.
There's a difference between mental health. We all have mental health, but it's not the same as mental health issues or illness or struggles. That's on a different plane, and that's what we're really trying to address.
Gabbi Hughes is a graduate senior and star player on the Minnesota Duluth women's hockey team. She's also a family friend of the Wielands who helped coach Sophie when she was younger.
She was just the most smiley, hardworking girl. She could be having the worst practice ever or the best practice ever. She always had a smile on her face.
Gabbi was heartbroken by the news of Sophie's death.
It's just a shock to see somebody at that age struggle for so long without being able to talk about it or voice what she was going through.
And Gabbi knows this firsthand.
I've struggled with mental health off and on for a few years in high school and then even in college. That transition from being at home your whole entire life for me, I was 2 hours away from home, so I wasn't that far, but I still learning how to do everything on my own, and that not having the people that love you and care about you right by your side every single second of the day was a hard transition for me. And I would look at my teammates and how much fun they were having freshman year, or how much they wanted to just get out of their house, and all I wanted to do was sit in my dorm room or my apartment room, and I didn't want to socialize.
Eventually, Gabbi confided in her teammates and coaches, who guided her to get the help she needed.
It was a tough conversation because you never want to admit that you're struggling, especially as a freshman. I'm thinking, I don't want the coaches to think I'm weaker than I am, or that I'm not handling this the way I should be.
That's often a delicate balance in sports, the difference between an athlete having mental toughness and struggling with mental health issues. To help address that, Sophie's Squad volunteers guide coaches through a sometimes difficult but very important conversation.
This is what I talk about, okay? Because this is what I live with. I live with an illness. I live with anxiety and depression. You know what the tough thing to do is? Can you ask for help if you need it? That's what takes guts. That's what takes courage.
This pregame chat was a couple of weeks ago before a girls' game between White Bear Lake and Stillwater.
What we want from Sophie Squad is if you see something Sophie Squad related, if you see a little teal sticker on a helmet, if you see a puck, you're thinking about mental health. You're thinking about, did I take a minute today to focus on my own mental health?
Sophie Squad is still a relatively young organization, formed just a year and a half ago. But they've already made an impact, spreading the message that it's okay to not be okay.
It's letting them know it actually takes more courage to stand up and say, I am struggling with something, or I'm having an issue, I'm dealing with this, particular, whatever they're going through.
We want you to treat mental health the same way you do your physical health. If you broke your leg, you're gonna go to a doctor. If you're struggling with anxiety or depression, reach out to a trusted friend or a coach, whoever it is, that can help you, that you can share with.
Sophie would have been 16 years old this past October. The girl with a heart for hockey is at the forefront of everything these volunteers do. In the name of mental health awareness, honoring the name Sophie Wieland.
I think as a parent who's lost a child or lost anybody, you always just want to make sure that your child is remembered for whatever reason, and I just feel like this is just something that will help with that.
It's taking the picture and you yell, on 3, say Sophie, and for us, we all get just chills and goosebumps just keeping that name alive and being able to hear people show that love for her that we wish she could have seen and been able to hear herself.
Sophie! Interesting thing, the name Sophie, for some reason, we could never find it anywhere going on trips. And so I think she's maybe looking down and thinking like, now my name is out there all over the place and, you can't miss it.